Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Yes, this is Minister D. Once again, welcome to TNT. As you all know, it's a Sunday. I want to wish you all a happy Sunday. And I believe you really had a wonderful one at that point. So, yes, welcome. We are definitely going to continue today with our program on abortion. Is it murder or is it a solution? What are the reasons and what are some of the advices we can actually give? Because to other people, whether murder or not is a solution. To others, at the same time, it is a decision. So when you decide to kill a baby, yeah, we all know say there's no pardon. So that is what we are up to today. We want to discuss, we want to understand, we want to know what this is all about. So we're just going to have some shout out. Fortunately, we have some chance that we can present, some of our people that are actually supporting us per video, give up the headline for this week. And yes, then we kick it going. So whilst you are watching, just do me, you ask all a favor, and let's invite our friends to this beautiful program. Thank you very much. So we're about to give out the highlights and then also mention some people that are definitely in support of what we do. Just share to your friends, brothers, and relatives, and let's make sure the message is going and getting across. Thank you very much. And yes, let's enjoy. Okay, Muhuse Kakra. Yeah, this is TNT production, all for you. So just keep on watching. You. So let's keep on mentioning it. So we have Amonima Bakupe, as we always say, it's all about the organic hair growth. We have Hilda from Avon, who represents our Avon team in Europe. Adoma Muchia Ohima Mukas is all about cooking the African dish. Then we also have our mighty food, Tally Food. As you can see and could see on the program, we had Afrit Food. That is the platform to showcase your made in Africa, made by African products. We have Beauty by CY Touch, and it's all about the makeup stuff. And she will let you look wonderful. Queen Esther's Bakery and Cooking is also something that is being found in Frankfurt, but anywhere you need them, they will be there for you. And then Sister Gifty Olebo no Enchebia Ebeba out ya Ebeya Mao or see the special sheto. And it's not only the special sheto, but then you better label new logo, no, then we bring it out because this lady is doing marvelously well and helping TNT as well. Yes, Royal Consult, as you saw, is in collab with also Wow Gathering. It's all about women empowerment and how we can push our women forward. You need to love yourself before you love anyone. You can't give what you don't have. So that is what we stand for, or Wow Gathering stands for. We have Girl on the Move, Kids at Home. That is the project that is going on. It's moving on wonderfully good. D-Rocket Fashion, as you can see, it's all about African wear, your designers, and accessories as well. We also have Mama Double N. Mama Double N, a great supporter of TNT. Like I said, whilst it's going on, just help all of us, share the program out. And yes, we also need to put it out there. Unfortunately, I think that was this week, probably. Um, Yes, if I'm wrong, Malcolm will correct me. We lost one of our high life singer in Ghana. That was actually followed by also like Obine Busai. What is going on in industry? Waiting, now waiting. So yes, unfortunately, we lost some of them, and yes, we are very sad. Mostly those that know him, Ghanaians for sure. And yes, so we all have to know that one day we have somewhere to go. So the best thing you can do is to love your neighbor as yourself. Wait there, you don't need a Bible to know, so I have to love my neighbor as yourself. If they slap you and they pain you, dear, then you love your neighbor as yourself. Then we also have our beautiful artist that is Wendy Sheo. Wendy Sheo, yeah, na what the young fufuro kama be aba in Ghana for all government. You see, say petition to ban Wendy Sheo hit song. Pacho, you know when people are speaking the truth, I heard it myself. I don't know. If Michael would tell me if there was anything wrong. So this lady has been in Ghana trying to push all that she can. And Ghana for whatever. We are pulling this lady down, sir. Please support your own. And those in Germany too. Mom himself hey no free yana. Ghana and ish for no please try to support your own because when the share is doing marvelously well. Like Michael will say, or say bullets, he's doing well, pa, because we're training the artists here. Say, no matter what they say, forget them, doggy homo. The most important thing is let's move forward. There's something that I came across, and please, since we are advising ourselves, let's take a look at this thing. In say when Mekan comes on now, blast, but first of all, let me bring them on because it is such a shame. It's such a shame. Welcome, brah. Welcome to TNT. You're mute.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. And, big greetings to our viewers and listeners.
Thank you. Malcolm is on, Sunshine is also on, so you can all feel the connection, as a breaky. When the two people to their connection fight. Welcome. Sunshine,
how are you doing?
We are fine, thank you. You are looking wonderful.
Really?
Aye.
Adum Grace.
That's a bias, yeah, but Malcolm, you are looking for Tabruta.
Thank you.
So I just wanted you to get on to look at this thing that I saw. I asked myself, what is Ghana getting into, or what our young ladies getting into? Say in the end, we used to hide some things and do it, which at the end of the day, whether it's wrong or right, remember when it's okay, right? But now the new be because please just take a look at this. Say the romance no with SBUTQ.
But is it really Ghana?
What's it?
Is it really Ghana? Ghana.
Ghana, obviously, I have multiple of videos such as Obi is one college, one day. Say Omoka tree in Nkwade, I hope says not Nigeria.
Yeah, best believe Nigeria.
Yeah, thank you.
I was really shocked because I asked myself, what are our youths turning into? Like, how can you? I mean, Nameka, no, this thing has existed over whatever. But the thing is that we never rubbed it in people's faces. Say they don't care. Even when you come to Europe now, those that are doing it, they are decent. Let me use the word decent. They don't just, do it anyhow, anywhere. But we just exaggerate. American. South Africa.
I was hoping to be South Africa.
I'll report you. I'll report you.
Ghana, say the directory, yes, you crew.
No, it's too much. So let me welcome you all to the program. Fortunately, we are streaming on Facebook and YouTube at the same time. I say, new settings. Hey, girl, we pass also the style idea. So, thank you all. Oh, the end, yes, I know, say what I this is no be no shame. Na you many.
Well, last week style now.
Oh, but as the last week now was side, it's a difference. I say, what, but so I'm seeing.
I shift to Bahaka crack.
Wow. So I hope your Sunday was good. I went to church and came back so tired. But we are supposed to have our guests as well, but information and discussions didn't really come on time until let me say we are still handling our topic today.
Yeah, the topic from last week.
Yes, abortion. So I think we are starting with the reasons and then we just kick it going with how can we advise ourselves. I saw say last week now hit Mukakra because let's be honest, not everybody is for something anyway. And we all have our personal view and how we observe things. They said that somebody will look at a glass and say it is half full. The other one too say it's half empty. It you can back your opinion, but it doesn't go against anybody's opinion because whether you try the party or there, it still stands the person's opinion. And people are not going to stop because we are saying it, but then there are things that we have to put some adrenaline kakra to it. So that is why we are here. Abortion. Last we got to know, say, Sister Constance, due to the background or medicine, kakra no, or break it down. So due to or no ankasa abortion, more times
doctor.
I tell you, yeah, I salute.
Yeah, Mekon, you have to come and confess. How many have you led to the doctor for it to be done?
So the breakdown was sunshine was shining, but then I can see say internet is too and more than stable.
I told them yesterday.
Oh, okay.
And then we had to disconnect everything and so they said I should try for 3 days. If it's okay, then it's okay. If it's not okay, then they are going to make me a special angeboard.
That's what you see, me. I give you that.
I think it's better, because today it's very, very clear from your
call them. Yeah, so abortion. So let's keep it on. I think last week some of our reasons. Let me break it down. Somebody microphone is giving a feedback. Let me try to mute one by one and see. I think it's gone. Okay. Yeah, so we had the pressure that is coming from, I think we discussed about the church, parents, or that is what we are about to discuss, sorry. And then we had something like, friends, families, when you are cheating, your age, and sometimes there are situations where the doctor will even advise you to abort a pregnancy. So we also got to know that for some of us, and mostly for Bra Ata, that is Matthew, also not dear, there is no reason on earth why you should abort a baby. Yet I see because to him, he has his background, he has his reasons and everything. And I was also saying, we all have our reasons. And the question is because we have the reasons and the chance and sources to do it, does it make it right? Question mark. And let's start by what are some of the reasons why somebody will even think of abortion or abortion will be the last solution, the way out. The way out. When it comes to, let's start with when it comes to religion, for example.
Can I go?
Religion. Yeah, good evening, everyone, once again. And when it comes to abortion and then religion, it's a big issue because most Africans, we don't support abortion. Abortion is not legal in almost every African country. I don't know which country that have legalized abortion in Africa. So religion plays an important role. In Africa, I think the white man who brought his Christianity, now we've overtaken them. We know the Bible more than they do. It's like this time around, we can interpret the Bible better than them. So it's like, and once God frowns on abortion, and even there's a part in the Bible that there was this man whose the brother died, and he was supposed to take the brother's wife and produce children for the other brother, but because of that, thinking that the children will not be his, he was doing sort of withdrawal so that the woman wouldn't get pregnant, and God had to kill him. So sometimes it was like, oh, so that means God doesn't hate procreation, or it's like what we bringing forth into this world. And Africans as we are, the moment one gets married, within the next 3-4 months, and they don't see that you're showing signs of pregnancy, it becomes it's like, why did you marry if you know you are not ready to give birth? Childbearing and those things are very important to most Africans.
Yes.
There are sometimes when you marry young and you're like, oh, because of some projects or some things we want to do, you want to hold on to childbirth for the meantime, and then people are like, no, no, no. Once you start, you've given birth, you have to start making children. And that then becomes something like it's a burden on most of us Africans, other than whites who can decide that we even marry without even having kids.
Yes.
You see. So religion-wise, if a girl is not married and she found herself pregnant, that is where the stigmatization starts. And some religion, anytime there are some churches that they would consider, fine, you went through this, maybe we should go and see the guy who impregnated you, and then let's see if we can marry the two of you. Or the most times, if the person is not ready, the guy and the lady, it's like they are just in a relationship and they are not protecting themselves. She realizes and then that she is pregnant. It becomes a bit of a challenge for the lady, but she is going to be the talk of the town. And the whole church, everybody is going to be like, hey, you are not married, and you are going to give birth. So the shame, the kind of stigma that you get, that is what is going to force people, maybe force the lady to go and have an abortion. But she thinks she herself is not ready. She's not ready to give birth. Probably she's in school, or she's an apprentice, or she's doing something that she doesn't have the right resources to even welcome a baby into this world. So that becomes a bit of a challenge. So instead of going through all this, thinking about it, that how can I take care of the child? The man is not also responsible. That kind of thing would force a lady to do that. And what I would advise is, if only the church will understand that, fine, girls can make mistakes due to one or two things. Because one thing I know is most would not have gone through abortion. But who will help the girl, or probably the lady in question? Who is going to help her in the upbringing of the child? Because you yourself, you are under your parents. You see, your parents are taking care of you, and having a baby is another extra burden. Probably you are in school, you are doing something. How do you take care of yourself and the baby? And mostly when it happens like this, the church, in fact, the stigma is so much. I don't know about the Muslims. If probably you are not married and you find yourself pregnant, how the treatment is. But I also know that it's not going to be nice, because most of the Muslims, they would like to do the awray before it's like they start having kids. Even though they start a bit early, their age wise, you can marry a bit early. Unlike the Christians, that you are like, hey, the moment you find out that you are pregnant, you are not married, it's a very big deal in the church. It's a very big deal. And most people wouldn't want to go through that process. The point where everybody is pointing fingers at you. The church rules is that once you are not married and then you find yourself pregnant, one, you have to sit at the back of the church. You can't come forward. You cannot come and put in your offering. You cannot take a Lord's Supper. It's like we've handed you over to Satan. Thinking about all these things is like, whoa, then I can just go in within 5-10 minutes. This thing is taking off, and then I can go on with my life. So it's like most girls would rather choose that than go through all the depressing things that the church will exhibit to you. So religion wise, we don't help abortion at all. So you realize most of the youth, a lot of them go through this. They would do it just because of what the church would take them to. They rather opt for abortion.
Mm. Wow, thank you very much. And so I think Sunshine the Rain wanted to shoot as well. So what is your point of view? Like, abortion and religion. Let's say in our case, I'll say Christianity and abortion, like Sister Constant broke it down. What do you think?
So in the first place, let's call a spade, and not not a spoon, a spade, a big spoon. Abstinence. When you know you are not ready for something, you don't go for it. If I know I'm not ready to be able to finance a Range Rover, I will not go and buy a Range Rover. You understand? So if you know that you cannot, for education reasons, what do you call, partner related reasons, financial reasons, religious reasons, whatever reasons it is, if you know you are not ready, I believe that let us abstain, or like people should abstain. But
Mhm.
since they are not able to abstain and they go into it, then also they should consider protection. You understand? It's a mere fact. We It's easier said than done. But
Mhm.
then people should consider what do you call it? Protection in order to avoid these kind of things. Okay, so if you are not able to avoid these all these, and then you just go and get yourself pregnant. So for the religious purposes, I believe that it's some kind, the church is trying to protect the people, in every society and in every culture where people are more, there is a law to govern the people. You understand? That is why the church is also playing its role. I believe before, when there were no what do you call it, government empowers the chiefs, and the churches and the culture um, norms were the ones protecting the people in the society. So I believe that the church plays a bigger role by helping people to reduce this kind of unwanted pregnancies, whereby you will just go and get yourself into um, something which you regret in future, like abortion, and then it doesn't go well, or you go and die. If you had abstained right from the beginning, you will not go and die. Or if you had abstained right from the beginning, you will later not injure your womb and go marry, and then you don't have children, and people are mocking you, and so right from the beginning, it could be avoided. But since people are not being able to avoid it, and the church is playing this major role, I believe that it is not a bad idea that religion, whether the church or the mosque or wherever, but I believe that they all see it as some kind of murder, whether it is 1 week or 2 days. Nobody goes proud and say, hey, I have been doing abortion, or I've been doing abortion, two weeks abortion. You understand? No one goes about proud of it and say that. So I believe that the church is playing, or the religion is playing a very good role in this, to help people not come later to regret in life the decisions they took. You understand? So the cultural reasons also are also a little bit related to the religious reasons, because they are all the same. It's just that culturally they have different ways of doing things, and not in the channel of the church or in the channel of religion. So they also play a very great role uh, in avoiding some of these things, so that especially the teenagers, when I believe that when we all got young, we all got tingled and want to try one, two, three things that could, you don't even have idea. Even married women, advanced women are even, this thing can really mess you up, and you would look stupid in front of everybody like a child. You know, when you just get so excited and relaxed and enjoyment, and then you just get yourself messed up, and then you have to go queue in an abortion room to have an abortion. It's really, anyone who asks, you can't even openly tell people that this is what I've gotten myself into and this is what I'm going to do. So proud of it, it's not possible. So I believe that people should just allow the religion and culture to play their role in order to reduce this abortion in the society amongst
Thank
us.
you very much.
So just to add a little to what Sunshine just said, that nobody announced it. In fact, it's true. You can't even tell a close friend. It's something you want to do in secret. Probably the only person who will know will be the guy who impregnated you, because most often he's the one going to finance you. He's going to give you the money. So it's just between you, the doctor, and him. So you, whilst lying on the bed, probably you're only praying that God, don't let me die. No, don't let something happen to me for everybody to know that is what I came to do. I was trying to do it in secret,
You
and then
see?
it comes out. It's not something that you yourself you are happy with.
Mhm.
It's a very hard decision, but you have to, because you are thinking about other things. Let me just go through with it. Yeah.
Mhm. Wow. To be uncle, yeah, I did the abortion.
Oh yeah.
Megan.
Okay, I will start by asking a question. We are talking about religious wise, right?
Mhm.
Mhm.
So, religious wise, contraceptives and abortion, which one is a sin? I just want to ask a question.
I can't
Well, for contraception, that means you are preventing it. You are
Mhm.
even preventing it from happening. But the abortion, it has happened and you are killing it.
Constance, be careful, or Brian, in the question, you didn't. I
But
can.
which one is a sin?
Remember,
I,
he,
wa-
he
I
said
want to know.
religiously to it. So
Religiously, yeah. We are
both
relating it to
is wrong.
Christianity. So,
The
Both is
religious
wrong.
aspect.
Because remember, you said something. Said there was this guy in the Bible who
Yeah,
was,
yeah.
yeah.
Trying to do the withdrawal method and he was
You,
killed. So that means
you know,
contraception is not acceptable.
Good.
look, that guy in the Bible, let me come in before Mekon, please. That guy
Mhm.
in the Bible, no, his own was meant for him and not for all of us. So this is what people don't sometimes understand in the Bible, that there are certain um, emphasis that there are certain things that happen. It doesn't mean it's for all of us. Like if today I mess up, like something happens to me and I mess up my life, it's for you to um, look at it from your point of view and tell yourself, oh, this is what Gifted did and it went wrong. So I will not go that side. You understand? It's to advise yourself. It doesn't mean it's for everybody. So that guy's oh no, he was supposed to take his brother's wives and procreate, and he refused to do. That's why he was killed. It doesn't mean that those going for enjoyment should also go and procreate.
But if you say it like that, then it just simply means that we can't even believe in the Bible, because the whole of the Bible story, it was meant for the Israelites, not
We are not
for us.
talking about only the Bible. We are talking about religion.
Yeah, but this guy is in the Bible. This guy we are talking about is in the Bible. So we are relating the Bible to our Christian life, right? That is what we are doing.
Yeah.
Yeah. So since we are doing that, then it definitely means that if that guy was hated by God because of what he did, then it definitely means that we would also be hated by God if we do the same thing.
Of course.
Yeah. So that is what I am trying to say. His was one way or the other a contraceptive method, right? And
Yeah.
then there is the abortion,
Hmm.
Hey, Megan.
Oh my God, not
Mama
today.
Saka, our home and so.
Not today. What's
Are
happening?
you? Yes.
oh yeah, I'm back. Religiously, they are both a sin. So if we say we are looking at it at the religious point of view, I don't think we are going to end the conversation today, because it's going to be an argument after an argument after an argument after an argument.
Hmm. He can't argue his facts today.
Okay, so I think Megan will.
7 minutes. Okay, so it has to be social wise.
Megan, please check your internet, and come back.
Check your internet. Maybe you have to call them.
Yes. So on the platform, as we can see, probably many of you know this queen or the Ohima Joya queen. She has been here before and she's back straight up from Ghana or Shine or the Abraya Riano. Connecting to Sunshine. Welcome, Ohima. How are you?
Yeah.
I'm fine, thank you.
Good.
Hello,
Good.
everyone.
Long time.
Yeah, that's true.
Yo, welcome. When we say Mekon will still add up because of the internet. So we'll be waiting for him when he comes with his point. But Ohima, since you're on, the topic today is all about abortion. We treated it last week and we are continuing today. Now, today is all about the reasons why we actually even think of abortion or it being the way out, right? And then we want to later on add up with some of the advices we can give to ourselves, not being the ultimate advice, because at the end of the day, whatever you are telling somebody is his or her own decision at the end of the day. But I know Pa said, I know you're Mecca, so please.
Oh, please.
Our mouth is paying, I'll say, so. Platform.
Yeah. Hello, Sister Constance and Sunshine in the Rain. Yeah. Yeah, it's good to get you back on the live stream. Yeah.
Nice having you too.
So you want me to talk about what? You are asking for my view about abortion?
Yes, we are on abortion and religion. Abortion and
Whether
religion.
it's good or bad?
Oh, I know, dear.
Yeah, I think any of the, I mean, the good side and the bad. If only there's a good side.
Okay. Okay. I think we all know when we hear abortion, like we all know something about it. And sometimes I think when we go to the hospital or sometimes they see when you are carrying a baby, they can also opt it for you, like you need to do a DNC or something to bring the child out if maybe they see that the child will not form out well, or maybe you have problems that you cannot deal with. And sometimes they seek your opinion. It's like they give you everything on the table, like the baby will be like that, the baby cannot walk, there's rupture of the womb. Maybe this is the problem that the baby will go through a lot of things. And then sometimes they will tell you when you bring the baby out, even you might end up losing your life. So the best option for you to do is to just flash it out. And I know most women know or have heard that story also. But for me, if you ask me if abortion is good or bad, there is nothing like unwanted baby. If there is unwanted baby, then there should be unwanted sex. So if you are not ready for a baby or you are not ready to cater for a baby, I think we can't sit here today and behave like angels, but the best thing for you to do is to protect yourself. Because I wouldn't sit here today and say that I'm coming from heaven this evening to announce to everyone on the platform that abstain from sex, don't sleep with anyone. But then if you are not ready, and even because of STDs, chlamydia, and sexual transmitted disease, sometimes people only think about AIDS and HIV, forgetting about even candidiasis to the extreme, forgetting about chlamydia, forgetting about a whole lot of things, and then vagina problems and all that. But we just think, oh, let's have sex. And then people think sex is just a game that we play like Ludo and you are gone and I'm gone. Yes, we all enjoyed. And some women might think, oh, the man used me and dumped me. You have also used the man, but please don't just enter any sex hole with just going raw if you're not sure of your status. So for me, I would advise everyone that if you want to have a casual sex, like, you need to protect yourself. So that is what I can say.
Casual sex, not just a normal Jew, okay.
Or maybe even if you are married and you think you are not ready, because sometimes even married couples also fight about pregnancies. If women here will attest with me, because sometimes you get pregnant and then your husband is so angry because he thinks, oh, we already have 3 kids. Why are you bringing in the fourth one? And then they will tell you, oh, it's an unplanned baby. And sometimes we just mention those words, but then it has effect on that child. So we don't have that love or bonding to do with the baby. So for me, that is what I would say. But if you've gotten into a mess or you are into the deepest well, and maybe it depends on your the things that you are dealing with, because sometimes people are taken by surprise. Some women will have sex and then they will still have their menstruation, but then they are just pregnant. So they are just taken out of the blue, and then it's like, I didn't plan for this, so I want to abort it. And since we are in Europe here, we know abortion is normal, like taking a pill for your headache or your stomach. So it's not anything difficult or scary that we are scared of. So for me, it depends on where you are standing, because somebody will see a 6 and then it will represent a 6 to the person. It can also represent a 9 to the person. So it depends on where you are standing. So that is what I would say for now.
Thank you very much. We have a comment from Mary. Mary, we all know Mary, long time.
Yeah, sister in US.
Yes, Mary recently had her birthday. And yes, Mary, we wish you a happy birthday for that. Mary said that whatever religion, abortion is not in the mind of God and his doctrine. Due to man's action, abortion came by will and society views. Medical tech has also influenced this area of life. Thank you very much. So when it comes to religion, or let's say church or Christianity as we are handling, it is not in the sight of God or in God's mind for us to have abortion, or even, let me use the word, to protect ourselves with those things, because Constance gave us that example. But also at the end of the day, God also gave us wisdom, and that is how all these contraceptive things came by. And then we were too wise and we moved on to abortion. So let's get to this one. I don't know, was it Sunshine in the Rain or Constance that made mention of, I think it was Sunshine, said that the church is only protecting us. That is why they are against abortion. Am I correct?
Yes.
Sure. Okay. So let me take it from Mekon's point of view. The church now is against contraceptive. And the church is against abortion. In short, I think the message is the church is against sex, right? Except, or let's say, sex before marriage. Because as long as you are doing it and you are not using it, it will come. And when it comes, you need to take full responsibility. And now here comes the cases. Let's say I'm a full Christian, holier than thou. God have said, and that is the only thing I'm following. Now I go to my doctor tells me, oh, Charlie, the child is so and so months. Number one, the head is at the back, the hand is at the knee, and if this child cannot come out, if it comes out, it will not survive, number one, or you will not survive. Number two, do you really want to bring forth this baby and take care? And then you be like, oh, I don't want the baby to suffer. A Christian, let me now take these measures and let me abort the baby. So let me bring out the points. Problem is there. You didn't use it because the church is against it. Now you can't abort it because the church is against it. So in this situation, Mpacho, what do you do? I mean, I'm talking about, the Sister Mary's. How do you go about something like this? Sometimes talk to me. You're mute.
You're mute.
It looks as sorry, I'm sorry. It looks as if you want to intertwine certain things here.
I am
So
actually. It doesn't look like.
we are talking generally about abortion. There
Mm-hmm.
is no good and bad abortion. So the moment we sat here to talk about abortion, we are talking of the negative part of abortion
Mm-hmm.
and not the medical aspect of it. Mekon, don't wave me. The medical aspect of it. The medical aspect of it, the medical aspect of it, is for your, even at that moment, Am I still on?
You are still on.
Yeah.
Sorry. Even on the medical aspect of it, even if your pope is standing there, and it has to do with your life, to save your life, whether it was a pregnancy before marriage, teenage pregnancy, or even in marriage, and you have failed your birth, how do you call it in
Miscarriage.
English? Not miscarriage. Is it miscarriage? Yeah, something like that. So ectopic, all those kind of things, and the doctor. So it's a medical thing. That one that I don't think we have to mix that one with this one, because that one has a medical reason which has to do with saving your life, and so that is not anything that God is going to
Let me pause you there. Let me give you an example. If you are Jehovah Witness and some of these kind of let's say these directions, when it comes to is it transfusion, when it comes to blood, right?
Mm-hmm.
Don't accept it. And why, whether medical, surgical, they don't care. It is said and they don't do it. That is what I'm trying to bring in. You get it? So if the church is against abortion, I don't know if you get my point. Once a Jehovah Witness come to you, whether it's a birthday, yeah, the person who says, so it's my birthday, he's not for it until the birthday, You can even say it's the president of wine, they don't care. And when it comes to transfusion of blood now, since they are not for it, it can even be, I know people that have died because their religion says that don't. I don't know if some of you have. So what I'm trying to say is
that's very true.
You have now done it, and now they are telling you medically, we need to take that baby out. Otherwise, and your religion is strictly against it, because I believe, sir, when the Bible talks about sin, yeah, there is no big and small sin. When it's used the word ever, it's not like up to Monday in the year ever, but ever is ever. You get it? So if it says that abortion anywhere, I don't even know any passage that says don't abort anyway. But that is what we have all learned and we brought up. So what would you say if medically you have to do it and your religion is against it?
So if I have to do it medically and my religion is against it, they are against things. This when you are bringing it, let me take my time. So whatever that brought the blood transfusion and all those, it's not they themselves that die haben das nicht ausgesucht. They didn't go getting the sickness by themselves. Nobody chooses what kind of sickness comes into their body. You understand? But with this one, you went to choose it. You went to actually buy it with your enjoyment. You understand? Or however. So it's two different things. I believe it's two different things. You went to do something, and that is the result you got from it. So in this case, I believe with the Jehovah Witness and all the other people that their religion says that they will not abort it. I believe they will not abort it. And of course, there are some naughty people who really would listen to society, and that's why they will quietly. Everybody has their own secrets where they quietly they quietly messes up and go in their quietness and pray and ask for forgiveness. Nobody's there to know what they went to do, and nobody is there when they were praying to ask for their forgiveness. You understand? So if you are relating it to these religions like Jehovah Witness or whichever people, it's a choice. It's either the person goes quietly and abort it. But if it's a medical reason, then I believe that that person will boldly take that step, because it's between life and the end, and they didn't choose to get there. I'm very sure with this miscarriages, it doesn't know Jehovah Witness, it doesn't know Muslim, it doesn't know, and I believe that most of them is medical reasons. They go to hospital when they are sick. Jehovah's Witness go to hospital. They only don't take blood transfusion. You understand? And whatnot. But I don't believe that when they have this ectopic and then they tell them, they will say that my religion will say I should not do anything about it, and then they will leave it and die. At the same time, I also think I have heard one or two people who have fibroid, and then they will still say it's a baby, and they believe it's a baby, and they will keep praying about it. And then after some years, it just, whatever it happens to it, and they are being messed up. That one is lack of knowledge. My people perish. So when we are talking about something, we talk about the normal ones that everybody is looking at, and not the abnormal ones, like the corona vaccine, the queer ones that are saying it is 666, and the government is not even listening to these people to even explain to them, because majority takes the vote. You understand me? So I believe that when it's medically, it's not anything evil, or it's not anything negative, it's not anything bad, and God will not frown to the negative aspect of abortion. But when we are talking about this kind of mistakes where you have to go abort it, and that is, I think that's the setting for tonight, where the mistakes are being made and then you have to go and abort it. I believe, let us create an awareness, and we cannot impose it on people to abstain whatsoever, but let us create an awareness that it is not right. Whether I have done it, you have done it, everybody has done it, doesn't make it right. So let us create an awareness that it is not right. It's not only going to damage your church, they're only protecting you, or your religion is only protecting you. At the end of the day, you who goes to the table come back home with emotional trauma. You go alone, you go through it alone, the emotional trauma. Nobody goes through it. Even if your boyfriend or your whoever did that to you is not even going to feel it with you. You feel it alone. The pain, the regret, you feel it alone. The mental torture or mental illness about it, you feel it alone. Some people do it with a particular guy, and after that, the guy leaves and goes, and then they tend to hold very bitter. They tend to be bitter about guys, or about I don't know, whatever made the guy go away. Like they have, oh, I have dated, let's say you have dated somebody for like 6 months, and then this thing happens, and then he lures you, very sweet, lure you into aborting it, and right after you abort it, like give him, like he will not even touch you again. Like after 2 weeks, when he see that you are not dead, you did not die, he's gone. You understand? So the woman comes home, sitting at home alone, or sitting in your corner alone, and you are going through this mental torture, you are going through this emotional stress and everything, all because you made just a little mistake. And so the awareness we are creating, or the sitting we are having tonight, I believe that it is for us to encourage other people and to tell them that if you know that you are not going to keep it and give birth to it, please try and abstain. Please try and avoid it. There are so many ways in avoiding it. There are contraceptives. There are abstinence.
Merci. Thank you very much. So we are done for today. So thank you very much.
Minister, there was something I was contemplating today. You know, sometimes there is this miscarriage. Sometimes you are happy that even that you are pregnant, but then within after a month or two, there's something we call spontaneous abortion. It just happens on its own. You not do anything. You see yourself bleeding, and you can't contain the pain. You have to go for them to remove it for you. And somewhere in the Bible, it's been a long time I read the Bible. Forgive me. There's a quote that says that, I mean, somebody can be foolish that a miscarried child is even better than that person. You see, so is it that at a point in time, God makes miscarriage possible? Is it that because it's like for this one, you don't intend to have the abortion, but then this is what is happening, and then Yeah, it happens that way. Last time I also spoke about molar pregnancy. The same thing. It's not you're making and you think you are pregnant everything because you're expecting, and then your body behaves some way for only for you to realize that no, you are bleeding. It's not really, there's no baby, but then you have to go. They have to wash the womb for you. You know, those are circumstances. It's not your making, but then you also have to go through abortion because for what has happened, you can't leave your body like that. It is going to destroy the womb. So you need to go for them to remove the excess fetus that is left there. You see, so that kind of contradiction, I was contemplating a bit about this. I was like, well, what about those who don't want it, but it happens that when they have to go through it? You see?
Thank you. I want to bring in something so that we know the kind of steps we are taking. The reason why I wanted to break it down, church, parents, culture, and all community, is whether we think the world might be as Gemma say, rosa or rosa via or hima. It looks nice, right? That nobody would do this. But trust me, there are people that refuse to abort a baby, even though they know that the baby will be this or they might die, all in the name of religion. So let's be clear about that. And that is the message I want us to, on this church thing, to be aware of. We might have not seen it. For me, for you, for us here, it's very logic. If something is happening and I'll die with it, why don't I do this? Why don't I do that? But whether you believe it or not, the fact is very simple. People are doing it, right? They are living whatever sickness, whatever, however, and in the name of religion, in the name of church. And religion is, any religion, right? So that is why I asked this question, that what of if you have done it because religion is against protection or whatever, or in some religion, then you have gone into the pregnancy thing, you have enjoyed. Now the problem has come. In that moment, everybody that is a Christian knows that children are blessing, right? But when you are pregnant and it's not in the right manner, it's a problem. It's not blessing, it's a problem. So how do you get rid of that problem without bringing your elder's name, your apostle's name, your father's name, and then the family? And that is where the question comes. I'm a Christian, I can't do it. So do I bring shame? That is what we call it. Question them, the name is shame. Now you bringing the child is a shame, so I have to abort it. So how do you go about it? That is actually my question. How do you go about this thing? Because if the church is protecting you and says that don't use condom, and it has come, now it is saying don't abort. How do you go about it? How do we advise on that issue?
Can I talk?
Please, so.
For me, I think for that, it's a choice. It's a choice. And as I mentioned earlier on, it's like there is 6, the number 6. When you stand on top, it turns to 9. And when you come down, it turns to 6, depending on your position. So in this case, or in this scenario, for me, I think if it's me or him, no matter the shame, no matter what, like I'm not going to abort. Okay. But then I'm not in to save any image for the church, because sometimes I remember when growing up, one of my aunties sat us down and then she told us she was dating a guy and then she wasn't ready for any baby, but then because she also didn't protect herself, she got pregnant. And then when she got pregnant, it's like she was scared about the church because she was also a patron for the youth. So in this case, it's like people will, how people are going to troll you and all that. So she just sat in her room and then she said she's going to give birth. It got to a time she wanted to also abort it. And one time she went to the hospital, she said right in the hospital, she heard a voice like, "You are going to die if you do this." And she said, "You know what? I'm not going to save the name of the church and die. I'll just give birth." And she gave birth to that child. And till today, my auntie just gave birth to that one child. And that one child has opened a lot of doors for that, my auntie. So in this, it's like a blessing in disguise. So sometimes, depending on where you are standing, the position that you are standing, if you want to save the name of the church, that is your problem. But remember, we call ourselves members of the church, or we are living for the church and everything. But for me, I always say that it depends on your relationship that you have, the religion that you are in, and the relationship that you have with Allah, the relationship that you have with God, or anything that you are serving. Don't do things to please anyone. Don't do things to please anybody, because when you are in your trying moments, these days, nobody will stand with you. You stand alone. God for them, like God is for all of us. So it depends where you channel your prayers to and how you seek for your whatever thing that you want to seek for. So that is what I want to say. So in this case, if my auntie had aborted that child,
No
then
children.
she'll be a barren woman till today. And then people will be like, oh, she's going to church to pray. You know, there are some women in churches who are praying, crying unto God and all that, but they've forgotten about their past. We all have our past. And sometimes we walk out of our past, that darkness, and then God saves us all. So for me, I think what you've brought on the table, if it is me in that scenario, like I'll just shun everybody and then go for what I want, if only I can take care of that child. So yeah.
Thank you very much. Sunshine, before you come in, I think Mekan in the beginning had some points be an episode drop and then the connection went off.
Well, I think I was talking about the religion and the social aspect of this abortion we were talking about, and what I was trying to say, or the point I was trying to make was, at the end of the day, like our sister was saying, it has to suit you. If it doesn't suit you, and you think that the best way is to abort, I think that it is going to help us. It is going to help the whole world a lot, like I've always said. Because if we talk about religious wise, both the contraceptives and abortion, um they are all a sin in Christianity. So the best way is to abstain. And abstinence, as we all gathered here, we know that it doesn't really work nowadays. I mean, it used to work before, but not now. Now it doesn't work. So since it doesn't work, there is no way we can talk about abstinence now.
Mm-hmm.
No
Mm-hmm.
matter what you say, it won't really work. Since we are trying to raise our awareness, we have to be real. We don't have to be about
Oh.
like stories in the. We have to be real. Abstinence doesn't work nowadays. So since abstinence doesn't work nowadays, we have to encourage people to do what they think would help the whole world and not themselves alone. Because at the end of the day, if you have a child, you should know that you should take care of the child to stop you from getting rid of the child, and then some space, and then some time to deal with menace. You see, I also even had one all along the Jehovah Witness, they don't even give blood transfusion.
Mm-hmm.
I hope we are aware of that. They
Yeah.
don't give blood transfusion, so it means that if you are pregnant of the Jehovah Witness, if you need
Mm.
so
Connection maybe.
religion.
Mekan, I think you have to sit around the window side and then send a better connection. We'll just click.
You have to sit closer to the Wi-Fi.
Yes. Okay. Um, since it's frozen, let sunshine. Yes. Sunshine, please.
Mekon, next time I invite him to come and enjoy my network with me.
Yeah, your Wi-Fi.
I think Ohima snapped my words out of my mouth, but I would just add a little bit to it. And so I think people must learn to be responsible. People must learn to take responsibility of their acts, I think in homes also, I think last time we were talking about talking the sex child education at home or in the homes. I think this is where we also have to play a role by telling our children it's not right, but if it happens, don't go like abort it. You understand? So that these things will not be rampant. Um, Carelessness can cause it. But also, if we are also maybe teaching children at home that when it happens, bring it home, because what else can you do, and otherwise, other than being ignorant and sitting at home, and then you are being called from the hospital or in a mortuary to carry your child, your daughter, or your wife or something like that. It's better we also tell our children, even if they are 29, they are not teenagers, even if they are 30 and they are not married, let us not put pressure that they should go and marry and they should go into their husband's house. And so if it happens, then they are out of shame, because they know that their parents are expecting them to get married, be wed, and also they would also go and abort it. So I believe when we parents are also talking about this, because you don't just talk about it in the teenage times and then when the child is 20 you stop talking about it. I believe that as often as you keep reminding your child that it's not bad if it happens, don't let it happen, but it's not bad if it happens, bring it home and we will help you together raise that child. Some of these things could be avoided. And also I believe that peer pressure is also part of it, whether peer pressure in the children, or would I call it children, the teenage, in the teenage, peer pressure, or as old as we are, to do that. A friend can tell you, now say wait there, it's nothing, it's just like that. Haven't you done it before? This one like that, you understand? And then a friend, like, it can happen. So people should learn to be responsible for their act, that no matter what happens, before you even go doing it, know that no matter what happens, you will stand by your grounds and let it work. And if it's not going to be possible, just give birth to that child and adopt it. You can make a family happy by giving it out for an adoption.
Thank you very much. I can see that immediately you said you want to share your internet with Malcolm. Your internet has...
Yours has started.
And Minister D, can I chip in? Oh, sorry.
Yes, please.
Yeah, can I chip in this? I think sometimes also parents, we need to be frank with our children, because sometimes with the African community, it's like even the sexual organ or something, we find a name for it, and it's like we don't educate them. So sometimes we just push some of the adolescents into those traps because they go out and then people tell them this. And it will surprise you that you are in the house with a child, like maybe 8 years, 9 years, who knows about sex, who knows about everything, how a man sleeps with a woman and all that, because they are having this tablets, electrical gadgets, and everything. They are watching cartoons, and you might think you have a parental control and everything, but sometimes some things will pop up for them to look at it. So I think we also need to give them education right from their younger stage till when they get to the adolescent age also. Yeah.
Thank you very much. So let me move on to the next one. I believe one way or the other, we have joined it with our opinions and comments. Let's add society, the community, and the parents. So when we talk about society, community, we are talking about their friends, we are talking about school, we are talking how can parents, how can your community, how can your society lead you into choosing abortion as the only option or the way out. How does that even work? I know we have made mention of some points. Let's get deeper into it. How is it possible?
Yeah, Minister, you see that last week a question was asked about a grandfather impregnating the granddaughter. So for such a scenario, what do you do? You see, and that is already an incest. It's a crime. I mean, are you going to let the child give birth? And it becomes a bit of a problem for even the society and for you, the family. It becomes something like a tag. Hey, as for this family, this is the family that the grandfather. So when people think about all this, they are like, well, then for the child not to come and, I mean, be having all that ridicule wherever you pass, everybody saying that this child, this is a product of the grandfather and a granddaughter's child, So it's better they go and then have abortion, then it's like they close that chapter. You see, and I know that about 80% of most families will choose the abortion over the child being born because it's like it becomes something like a stigma on the family. Everybody is like, hey, this is what you've done, and already it's a crime on its own because incest is a crime in most African countries. To sleep with your own daughter or probably even within family members, it's a crime. It's not something that we encourage. So society frowns on certain things. Sometimes people, because of what people will say, that is what forces most people that once it's not yet out, we just realize it's about 2 months, 3 months. Let's go and take it out and then. But one thing most people refuse to do is that after probably families sit there and decide to do the abortion for the girl, it's like they don't punish the men involved so much, most of the family, because it's like, oh, this is an older person, probably he has money, he has bought his way through or something. And so the trend somehow continues. It's not as if it's like we've solved some this solution, we solved it once, but you see that the man goes doing it to other girls. So that thing becomes that is what makes societies, and we see younger, older men trying to rape younger girls as young as 8, 9. All those things. So it's like every time society is on the woman, then we leave the men aside, and the men are the ones causing the woman. I mean, a woman will not get pregnant. It's a man who has to impregnate a woman or a young girl, because most of the abortions that you see, the highest number is within the teen groups, those who are younger, between age 13 to 19, and they are within the student range. They have the highest numbers. When you look at this northerners, like the northern people who come down to trade, most of the young girls, all of them, you can see all of them with everybody has a child. And when you ask of the people who impregnate, you see the older men. Sometimes they don't even have the means to go and do even the abortion. So they just have to give birth. They give birth and their children become a nuisance in the society. Or they have to go through harsh means of taking care of their children alone. Those who really go to have that, but most of the students like this, because they are in school, they're like, oh, I'm under my parents, my friend, that means I have to drop out of school and that kind of thing. So the easiest way out is to, I mean, some will even go and take in some drugs thinking it will flash it out later to cause other problems. Because it's like it's a whole lot of things that is happening that is really causing younger sisters to go through that thing. So, as my sister already said, the best thing is for us, even as family members, as parents, even the society, is to be good examples to the girls and really talk to them about sex education. We have to really call a spade a spade. There's no need hiding certain things. Because it's like you tell them, you go and do this, you teach them about ovulation and everything. If they decide to be curious and then go in without protection and it happens that they become pregnant, well, you have become pregnant. You have to bear the consequences of what you have done. Society we have to support them. But we the African society, we will say it with our mouth. When it comes to the other things, nobody will mind you. Probably somebody will give you some few things, take this, but the real caring of the child, it lies on you, the one you that you gave birth. And that is where sometimes people think about it and they are like, hey, I have to go through all these challenges by myself. I don't think I'm that ready to do that. So let me go rather abroad, which is also not a good thing. But sometimes we can't blame them so much because abortion, it's a big deal. It's a big deal. I don't think sometimes they just stand up and decide that. Um, you really think through a lot that is the only option you have. You think you are not so ready. Looking at what society is going to say, society is going to do, and a whole lot. If only we would support them, if only we would support them, I
Support
think
them.
abortion will be reduced. Will be reduced to the barest minimum because the main challenge is the support.
Thank you very much. I think I will choose Mecca myself before the internet runs away again. So, Mecca, please, what do you say when it comes to what we mentioned, that is society, community, parents, or let's say the pressure?
Well, scientifically, we can say that when a boy or a girl reaches the adolescent stage, their feelings develops. A lot of things develops. So it means that those things are natural. You see, that is why I keep saying that the abstinence don't work these days because when it comes to that part, when anyone reaches adolescence, their sense of, their feel for sex increases. So when it happens that way, it is difficult for the society to suppress it. I don't think, because that is a natural something, unless of course, before we used to punish children, but here in Deutschland we don't punish children. Even back at home, those things, they are trying to put a stop to it and all that. And then Bible also say Jimmy but abofra koma ho. It's the moment I want YM free one, it means that what the born the about being. So when the child gets to a certain age, there is nothing you can do. You see. So since there is nothing you can do about it, even your teachings, no matter how hard you try to teach the child, if the child will go wayward, the child will go wayward. There is nothing you can do about it, and that is what you mentioned earlier, which is the peer pressure. Why? Because the child spends so much time with his or her colleagues than she spends at home. Because in the morning, the child leaves for school, comes back later in the day. Maybe if you are a parent, you are working, you also go and then come back. So you only spend a few times with the child, and the child goes to school from Monday to Friday. You see, and then Saturday they would have these their social groups, and then Sunday there is church service. So it looks like all the time the space between the child and the mother is occupied. I mean, when the child gets to that adolescent stage, you see, because during the when the child is still a child, let me put it that way, the mother is always close and all that. But then when a child gets to that stage, the child has to be in school, she has to be here, she has to be here. At the end of the day, you can't impact much into the child. So what happens? The child will definitely do it one way or the other. And then when it happens, what are you going to do? You know that the child is incapable of taking care of the upcoming or the unborn child. So what can you do? There is nothing you can do unless you go in for this abortion, you see. So all in all, the society we have come to live in, or the society we live in, the pressure is natural. Because when it comes to the whites, their way of life is different. When it comes, it comes. When it doesn't, it doesn't. But then when it comes to us, even the mother's friends, the church
Yeah, the West people.
congregation, you see the father's friends, the co-workers, what they will say. And the sad part is when they don't tell you direct, and then you hear that. Is it me?
That my
Okay, no, it's not me, please. So, so when it happens that way, that the father's co-workers, the congregation, the mother's friends, everybody is talking, or you realize that everyone is going to talk, what would you do? You would have to go in for abortion. There is that you don't have any other choice, because you are scared of the plenty mouths that is going to come on you. You see, so even the mother will encourage the daughter to go in for abortion, and it will happen no matter what. You know that some even advises to go for contraceptives. After the contraception, they will still, some fail. It does fail a lot. The contraceptives, it usually fails, and when it fails, and then you think that, oh, I've taken contraceptives, so at the end of the day, I know I'm not going to get pregnant, and then you get pregnant. What are you going to do? You were not ready. If you were ready, you wouldn't have gone for the contraceptive. So since you have the contraceptive, it means that you were not ready, and now you are pregnant. What would you do? You would have to go in for abortion. You see. So when we put all of these things together, that was why I was saying in the beginning that we don't have to talk about the religious aspect. The focus should be on the influence of the abortion. Is it going to be a positive influence or a negative influence on the society? You see, on the society, that is what we should be. I think the focus should be on. Why? Because if it happens and you are incapable of taking care of the child, there's nothing you can do. All you have to, because I think not recently a sister sent me a pastor's link, and I was listening to this pastor, and he made mention that um he had a lady came to him to confess that the husband, who was a pastor, has has asked her to go for abortion when she got pregnant. It was a pastor. You see, a pastor had told his wife, not his girlfriend, his wife, to go for abortion. Why? Because the 3 year, I think the last born was just was almost 1 year, and they have, and she's pregnant again. So like the gap between the last one and the one coming is just too close. So it will be something else. Apart from people going to talk financially too, it's going to cost them. So they have to get rid of it. You see. So this one is not the society, but he thought of himself and knew that he can save the world by telling his wife to get rid of the child. But then this pastor who was talking about this story was also against it. Why? Because he thinks that it is against the will of God. You see. But then if it happens that he gives birth to the child, and then the child becomes a social menace due to financial issues at home, that pastor who is saying this won't be there to help. You see, that pastor won't be there to help. So at the end of the day, let's just say that the society has the pressure. For the pressure, it will come from the society from all angles. But then, who is in the center? You, that you are in the center, you have to think of it like, how is it going to help you move forward? You see, forget the religion, forget the society, but personally, are you going to move forward when you have the child? If you think you're not going to move forward, you should do the child a favor and let him go in peace, rather than bring him forth so that he will live in pieces. That is what I can
Thank you
say.
very much. Let's say at this point, my question would be: do we have anything to add to the questions because we are bringing it to an end. We need to move it to the sector of the advice, which probably most of us have advised already. Let's bring it back in. Let's see what will we say, because one thing I know and believe is before you tackle an issue or before I tell you, oh, Constance, that's stealing, you need to know reasons for those stealing. You need to understand why that thing happens. I made notice of something. When it comes to, let's say, the life of a black man or an African, we get to know that the whole world deals with society, we deal with peer pressure, we deal with finance. When it comes to abortion, we deal with timing, health-wise. But in the life of an African man, one of the biggest pressure becomes religion. We are doing this, we can't do this, we have to do this. Even if you are going to drink water, cry, is it written in the Bible? If you want to, that becomes on top. I don't know how we all see it, but that is it. In my life, for example, and I'll use myself as an example, it has always been like, he sings in the church, he does this in the church. What will people say of him? Then, plus, what will your parents say? Parents not come last, because your parents is even thinking of what their friends will say, not even what you understand. Then we are Christians, so we are Muslims, so what would they say? So after the after the outsiders have given their opinion, now you get advice from your parent. And your parent is not against it because she's against it. She's against it because she will look foolish in front of the friends. People will talk about it, and this and that will go. So no matter how we see, even if I had a choice, and like I said, I'm using myself as an example, even if I had a choice and I want to say, I'm Oba, I'm a queer, I'm pregnant, I want to keep it, it is still not my decision. We should be real to that. I can be the center of whatever, it's still not my decision. At the end of the day, if I keep it now, lashes no crap. But if you dream about that lashes, my mom will wake you up at 2 o'clock, 1 o'clock, and start advising you, and I'm so tired. If I think of that advice and abortion is the next step. You understand? So for a white person, if we are talking about white people, right, and we tell them that you are the center of the problem, it's easier because the white man doesn't care. I'm pregnant, it's my decision. I abort it or I keep it. By the life of the black, except to say you figure out change, we don't know it. It is like that. It is your father slap in a way. That sex, why here you never go back to sex. You understand? So what I'm trying to say is that when we are advancing, let's put this point, because church, except we are not Christians or Muslims or Hindu or Musama, Disco Cristo, whatever we have.
And Minister D, anything that you do, people will just talk. And any position you also, or any choice you make, you still have that tarnished image or people talking, because when you decide also to give birth, people will be like, she's a born one. And when someone is ready to get married to you, they will be like, this girl, she was in the church, she was singing, and then...
Will you believe that people are still in their room because they are born one?
Yeah, so...
Exactly, that is what I'm saying. So that is where we want to move to the next step, which happens to be the advice. In case I'm born one, in case I have aborted or I want to abort now, us standing here, and what are our advice to those people? Yeah, what are we going to advise? Are we going to say, oh, forget them, wow, decision? And now are we going to say, please, go and abort it? You understand? So my question is, your personal decision, what would you advise me, a queer who is now pregnant, and my next step is I want to abort? What? Because I'm like Mekon said, that is the perfect word. I am the center. Whether mama, papa are sorry, whatever. No. At the end of the day, it's my stomach. It is not mama, it's not papa, it's not the church. He has said it all. But what do we advise? Our personal advice.
Well, here in Deutschland, I think after 3 months you can't abort a baby again. I don't know if I'm right. Yeah. And it's safe. So for me, I don't have any experience, so I am just saying, from what what I have heard is what I am saying, So since it's safe and since you can't abstain, well, what I would advise is try to abstain. I know it won't work, but try to abstain.
It's not
If
possible, Brother Malcolm.
that is what I'm saying, that try at least try to abstain. If you are not able to abstain, then you move on to the next step, which is to use the contraceptives. But the contraceptives, let's
It
take
has a
note.
side effect also, yeah.
Fails. It really fails. Most of the times it does fail, because sometimes the ladies, they could be given some pills and maybe they will just underestimate it, miss it one day, and at the end of the day it's oh please, why are people looking at me like this? It's not like I read it on Google. I read it on Google. It's not like I have an experience. I read it on
Well, whether you read it or you are applying it in your life, you are saying it, so we are listening to you.
In fact, I don't even know anything about it, just that I'm speaking from Google. So what happens is, if they miss it just one day, at the end of the day, it could happen. The lady could get pregnant, and then see it will still lead to the abortion. So
Yeah.
um, you just try as much as possible to use the contraceptives. But then, if it so happens, you really have to think it through. Don't think of now, think of the future of yourself and the future of the kid. If you think that the child is going to be safe, the child is going to live and enjoy life, or at least you can manage the child's life, then of course, why not? You see, if only you think that you can do all that, and if you have the strength to push, then why not? Yeah, you just have to
Yeah.
accept and then be willing to go through the 9 months of hustle, and then on the ninth month, gather the strength to push. If you can't push to, the doctors will do you a favor and then cut you and then bring the baby out. You see, you only have a mark, but at the end of the day, you have done your best.
Yeah.
So that is what I can also.
Yeah, for me, I think, as our brother is saying, abstinence is not so easy. And we wouldn't sit here and preach like, hey, it's a thing on a silver platter. So for me, my advice is go in for a responsible guy who is ready for today or tomorrow. And number two, sometimes you use these contraceptives and then it also has a side effect,
Yeah.
because most of it, like the women on the platform, I think we all know, it depends on the type of contraceptive you are taking. And other times also, like we go for this tiring of the womb, and later on it gives rupture of the womb. You take this contraceptives and then later on it gives you another problem and all that. So it depends on your body and what they can respond to. And and the men also, as the women, you are, most of you are saying, oh, it's like every time when this thing happens, it's like everybody open their eyes on the women. But the men, try to also protect yourself. And then also, as you are entering, sometimes if you don't want to put on the condom, you just bring it out. Like unjaingum, fepi, and we are all safe. But if you think you are not dating a responsible guy, please, it's better you use a condom to protect yourself, and then you be at the safest side. So that is what I would say, because when you get pregnant and then you can't take care of the baby and all that, when you are going through all this, the man will be at his home sleeping comfortably, and then you will be going through all the brouhaha. So that's what I would say. Yeah.
Please, the sad part is the condom also doesn't work.
If the condom doesn't work, too free mo.
Some of them are breaking.
Yeah.
I've taken two, the fashion and the two film. Thank you very much. Yes. So, who
All
is
right.
that?
I think my advice would be, mostly I wish we would advise our men the more, or our boys, because they are the ones that when it gets to the time when their hormones are so high and they feel like releasing, and then so they have to concoct every lie to sort of get the girls into their bed. And most often you see that it's not out of love, it's out of they want to release it out of their body.
Mm-hmm.
So that is where when there's a pregnancy comes in, some of them are scared, some are like, oh, I'm not ready. And then they start putting it into the girl's head that you have to abort. You see that most often when the girls is like, the first person he tells is the guy. If the ladies will be confident to tell their mothers even first, probably abortion would not have been the first option. But because it's like she did it with the guy, the first person to tell is the guy. So you go and tell them, hey, what we did last time, this is the result of what I've not seen my period. This when the person is like, oh, I'm in school, I'm not ready, I'm this. I don't think I have the capability to take care of a child in you. He starts putting those things into your mind. And then you are like, okay, then let's go and then let's do the abortion. But if we advise our men that no matter what, once you started having sex, you have to know that sex is for two things, for pleasure and for procreation. So
Mm-hmm.
if you are not going to protect yourself and then you are going to have it, then out of the two, whatever comes, you have to take responsibility for that. There are some families that are strict. When their boys go into practice and they say, well, you have to marry her. Some of them will force that. Then let the families meet. Let's do. But there are some other families, no matter what, nobody will even mind you. It's up to you alone. So I'll rather we advise our sons the more that they should be more responsible. If you know you can't abstain, you cannot protect yourself. Once you are going wrong, you have to know that it's not only for the pleasure. A baby can also come out of it, and you have to take full responsibility for that. And I think if we do that most often, our boys will be more careful. They will mind how to sort of go in sleeping around with women, because it's also easy for men to abstain. The fact that their hormones are raging and stuff doesn't mean that the moment you feel like having sex, you are not at the age where you've married, you should go in and be having sex anyhow. Sex comes with other issues. There are so many things that comes with sex. It's not just the pregnancy, as we spoke about earlier, the STIs, the STDs, all those ones are there because once you have unprotected sex, the rate of infection is high. There's a possibility of having an infection. You can have a baby, fine, but there are other things. Maybe you're not even sleeping with one person. That's that. More than one partner at a time for your own reasons. You know why you are doing that. So every action that you take in your life, we have to take responsibility for everything. So it's up to us to advise the younger generation. At least those of us who have passed through certain things, we know the peer pressure, we know what it entails. And funny enough, at that age, me growing up, I realized that when you are young, sex is not even enjoyable. It's like you are just satisfying the guy, but you, the woman, compared to when you are grown, when you are independent, sex is at a different level. The other one, it's like out of curiosity. You think you love your boyfriend and to satisfy him, so you have to sleep with him. That kind of fantasy. So that is when pregnancy comes in, you're like, oh, then I'm not really prepared. But if we would advise our girls and our boys that this and this and this and this, we tell them as it is, give everybody part. We should tell them raw, not to be hiding certain things, for them to know that once you are going in to have raw sex, be prepared for pregnancy at any time.
Thank you very much.
Mhm.
So let's add some sunshine in our rain today. Asa Nadia, you are very quiet, sir. Why?
Oh, I am shy.
You are
Anyway, so I would like to throw a question and then continue. So if you two guys come if you two guys come asking me out, maybe for marriage, yeah, and you realize that I'm born children, I can't count whether one, two, or three, or I have done series of abortion, are you going to marry me or not?
Why? Makeup, ladies first.
Okay, okay, I'm being a lady. Okay, I'm being a lady. I'm going to go. So
Okay.
yeah, of course. Before that was before development,
AD 26.
before NEB. Yeah, we used to think of those things. I think I'm getting a feedback. Oh, I don't know if it's from
Come on, just
myself.
come and use my platform to express yourself. Would you marry me? Yes or no?
I see what you want.
Okay. Oh, for me, my personal opinion. Yes, I don't have any problem with it.
With
That is what
both
I'm trying to
with
explain.
both or with one?
We, it doesn't matter
Okay.
because it's
Would
the
you like
personality.
Minister, it's your turn.
Oh my God.
Oh, sunshine. No worry.
It's my platform.
I think if I can answer it this way, for the abortion part, I don't believe a lot of women will be as open as that. Of course, you should be, but they are not,
Yeah.
right? But with the kids, you look at the person now who come, look at, if you can handle it. So if I can handle it, I'll say yes. And if I cannot, because this is something you need to have been in to probably say yes or no. But if I look at you now, I'll say yes.
Okay. So
That's
I
it.
think that thank you. I didn't even listen to the endings. Sorry. So I think that our religion being having helped us to um not to go into the sin of abortion has
Mhm,
also played some kind of a role which has really not helped most of the women or the girls
mhm,
um, in a way, I would say, because when you are in the church and like you're in the church, right, and you have a child, you kind of been looked down upon as
mhm.
if as if you are some hopeless
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
sharing woman, sharing it for the
Yeah.
society.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, even if it was a rape or it was one person you had it with, you understand? So even it can even come to the extent that somebody will come and ask of you in the church, oh, I've seen this girl. How is her character? I think I want to marry her. And then the church will be like, oh, this girl, she's a born one, she's a born two. You understand? Like
Mm.
it's born something
Mm-hmm.
essence.
Yeah.
Like what has
Yeah.
born something got to do? I'm trying to prepare something on women with single women with like single mothers. You understand? This born nonsense has to stop in this whole world because the kind of the bond they are the people you and I are made of sitting here right now and talking, whether it was in marriage or outside marriage, they brought out human beings.
Yes.
You understand, not imbeciles or whatsoever. So people should stop like looking at women like she's a born one, she's a born that, and that is some of the reasons that people get into this abortions. And moreover, too, and secondly, also they had this bond 1, 2, 3 with a man. This man
Mhm.
is in his roller coaster going around.
Yeah.
So if he leaves this woman with a bond 1 and 2 and 3 and sits, he's going to the next person. Probably that girl will not give birth, but she will go and abort it. Series of them, or one or two. And then he's going again. Now, when the born one happens to chance on a man who wants to marry, the man's family will be like, ah, this woman with one child or with two children. Like, I can't get it. Is it not a human being? Are you not even lucky to buy one and get two free, or buy one and get two free?
Okay. Okay.
Like, you did it's not now that you are coming to work and produce your own before it starts crawling and growing before you can send this child. There are another ones walking around. You make use of them before your own starts coming. So what at all is all this? You understand? So
Mhm.
society and the church and the culture and everything, they should just stop being, yeah, I don't
Judgmental.
know. They
Yeah.
should just stop being
Yeah.
unreasonable Because if there is sin, then there should be another replication of sin. You understand? People can't just be sinning and there's no other, like that's why you steal and there is prison or jail. So if people are having sex, then there should be also reasons why, if these children are being born out of wedlock whatsoever. It's not everybody who is even going to get married, just like it's not everybody who is going to be rich. You understand? So like society, family, church, religion, everywhere, all of them put together, no, they should just be steady and allow people to take responsibilities of their lives and not using certain norms to impose certain things on people, which at the end of the day only forces people to commit sin. At the end of the day, you come into this world, you are responsible for your life, you live your life, you are accountable to God and not even to your mother or your father. Come talk of the church and the religion where you are coming from. So they should really be in support, educate people, and if it happens, they should just accept it, because not all hands are equal. Every hand cannot be equal. So my advice to all of us, we are all part of it. I belong to a church, you belong to a church. I am a parent, you're a parent. You, these two men sitting down, you will still be roller coaster. Oh no, as for minister, me too, Chama, you are married man. This Malcolm, or whatever he is called. Like that, mommy said, that is why he thinks they will not get pregnant, so that they will go and abort for him. He's lying. Anyway, that's just by the way.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Yes, wonderful. Thank you all for your opinion, for shooting out the problems, shooting also the possible chances that one can actually take, because everything that you guys said makes sense because it's due to experience and also, let me say, what you have seen, read, or however. And like I always say, whatever we say here, at the end of the day, it is individual choices and individual decisions. We can sit here and say, don't, we bind your hands. At the end of the day, somebody, before no cry here cannot, somebody has appointment. You understand? So what we are saying is, I love the advices so much. Let me quickly read what we have here from our viewers. Mostly, should men also or equally so as women prevent pregnancies?
Yeah.
Mary says that African traditions have more power than Christianity in our culture of conception, abortion, or birth. Yes. You even see us bringing that tradition to church, and we call it Nyamese. In Africa, we have the law against which they refer to as taboo, and whoever goes against a taboo becomes an outcast, not accepted in the society. And yet, education on these issues is very limited to the community. Yes. Please, for heaven's sake, God said, go into the world and multiply. Therefore, if it is not for medical reasons, you should keep it. Rome made it clear. By the way, I was made aware of this problem by Sunshine in the Rain. Okay. And that is Cote Boy Porter. I hope I didn't pronounce it too American. If you are dating a lady, you should be a man enough to take responsibility of everything she carries, she comes with. If she has 5 kids, you can take it. Be a man. And Helen Benjamin said, who said aborted children go in peace? They go in pain.
That's my mother.
Hey, got to say two German, Mattia. Let me quickly go through. So the advices that we had today, let's start by Mecca. Mecca said, I think about your health. Think about yourself and what will help society. I hope I got it right. Because at the end of the day, he made mention of one example. Imagine you are giving birth to a child that will become what he has here. So make sure you consider your health and that of society. Ohima said that you need to plan. before you even go there now, you have this lady now, then Akosha corner. No, plan before. What if I get close to this lady and it happens, can I take care of her? Am I ready for it? Don't rather enjoy first and then think about, there are these movies when they tell you, I'm pregnant. I say, what? You are what? You see, so you are hot. You have to think about, if you are hot now, what will happen? So you need to plan first and make sure whatever comes, you take responsibility for those things. Then Constance also said that both should protect and take responsibility for whatever they do. Because at the end of the day, it is not only the man that impregnates the woman, and it's not only the woman that gets pregnant. They are a team that get that baby. And then Sunshine made mention on the other side, say, society should stop tagging people with names now, born one, born two. Just say, it's so funny. We should stop being judgmental and allow people to live their lives. And also, parents, educate your kids. Let me make a point in what Sunshine said. The funny thing is that, whenever you tell your man, I'm pregnant, or they see you and they see you as born one, let's be honest though, mostly it's not them. Let me advise on that. Mostly it comes from their background, their parents. So immediately they get close to you, they are moving with you, and they find out that you have a child. That guy is lost. So somebody said in this, said we should stop being boys and become men. If you're a man, you take decision. If you're a boy, you listen to mama, you listen to papa, you stay home, you play Nintendo. You understand? So when you start playing woman, you meet a woman, then you should be man enough to take responsibility, because immediately you enter that thing unprotected, I accept 1 + 1, there's always a result. Until when you enter and you push that thing in, definitely there'll be a result. So you should be aware of what you are going to do. And then make sure, you do know there are some men, actually, they see you, they like you, they even love your kids. But their thing is, at the end of the day, Africa, we don't just go out and go to Standesamt and marry. We come with a family. Now you go and tell your uncle, your papa, your mama, hey, Meshia Constance, or say, oh, that's good. When they say, oh, free, okay. But mama, she has 4 kids. Hey! You understand? Then we will tell you all the things that we don't advise well. I mean, maybe your child, or they tell you, Kofa slim, or Kofa big girl, or Kofa weight. Please, so it's my choice, my taste. I love the slim, the big, or the whatever. Some like the backside, some like front side. So I just educate your children. Like my mom always says, if you go out there and you impregnate any woman, Derek, you are marrying that girl. Intimate to when I get close to you, and in case I have it in mind, let me just play you. No cry. The other side will tell me, Masa Onyemna is yours. So then I just back off. You understand? These are some of the advice. It's scary though, but let the person know. Say women are not Nintendo, they are not PlayStation. They are human beings with even more sensitive feelings than you, the man. Please don't play with their hearts. Well, abortion, in all, as we have all said, it shouldn't be a choice, and it shouldn't be the way out. But when it affects your health and that of the baby, of course, it's acceptable. I think apart from that, I personally, as Minister Derek Kweku, I wouldn't advise anybody to abort. If you have a child that you want to abort, I'll buy the chop money account. I'll just take a child for you anywhere, because we are throwing our future. You go and look at Africa. Every president, we ourselves, we say they are corrupt. Imagine you are giving birth to those kids now, compare president, maybe they will not be corrupt. You understand? So let's see the positive in some things. And like I said, everybody has shared his opinion. We have had people here, Brad Corte boy, also I mentioned it to German. I'm sorry. Helen Benjamin gave a comment to it. Mary Kisev, let me say Mary, also said a point. We are very grateful for your advices. Of course, like I said, it's not the please.
Helen Benjamin, that's my mom. Mommy, I love you.
Mommy, we love you. I hope yes. Now, Uncle Mama, Hannah, coming you soon. Thank you, Mommy, for joining us and also contributing, because that's the most important thing. Not just be a spectator, but also add up, because I trust that we have said some things that you might not agree to it, or you have opinions that relate to ours. So just join. Please just help us promote this page and this program as well by sharing it to your friends and families and relatives, because we do have topics here. Definitely, we might not be the only people addressing it, but there are also people out there that have been in those situations before. You can call and you can come live without video. Tell us how you went through, what would be your advice if I should have been in your shoes. Help us build our community. If we have one person that will change from today and tomorrow's appointment now, the person decides, okay, I wouldn't abort anymore. Glory be to whoever God we all serve, in my case to God, in your case to Allah. However, it is a blessing to all of us. This is TNT. This happens to be my family of TNT, that is Sunshine, the Rain, Meccan, and Constance. We are always here for you on Sundays. Follow up, and then let's talk about life. Have a nice evening. Bless you for that. May your week be wonderful and flourishing. And whatever you touch may be your blessing, only because you watch TNT. Otherwise, they're awesome. God bless you.
God bless you.
Have a great week ahead.